how to get a better night's sleep for the energy sensitive. And today, we're talking about crystals. Hello, I'm Fractal Future and welcome to the Vanguard of Light, where we help energy sensitive people take it to the next level. And we're talking about sleep. How to get a better night's sleep for the energy sensitive person, how we can really up level being energy sensitive. We can take it so much deeper. We don't have to go with like cookie cutter approaches, because we understand in the spiritual realm, everything is really unique. And there's a spiritual reason, a spiritual cause to all that's getting manifested in the physical world. And by dialing in spiritually, will greatly affect what's happening in the physical world versus pushing things around in the physical world and hoping to get a change. It's kind of like pushing a string. When you're working in the physical world, it's like pushing in a string. When you're working in the spiritual world, now you're dealing with magic. So let's talk about crystals. I brought some tools. I actually got my crystal rings on. We got some crystals. Crystals are fantastic for the sleep stuff, because when you go sleep, your conscious mind is turning off, right? And you're doing what you're going to do. But crystals are great for holding intentions, right? You can program them and you can hold intentions with them. And we know, if you've done the previous days, what you want to do is day one, we kind of figured out, what are those two, three things that we really need to change or would like to change that would make our sleep a lot better. And then day two, we jumped in on like getting that motivation to really make these changes, like feeling like, man, I want to do this, right? And then day three, we cleaned up our energetic environment where we're going to sleep. And then day four, we figured out what the mind needs to do and what the body needs to do in sleep to get those first two intentions. And now we're going to talk about crystals. So crystals are going to be 2 days. We're going to do 2 days or 2 different videos. And the first is choosing a crystal. And we're going to do it the energetic way. How's the energetic sensitive person going to choose a crystal? Because there's general crystals that, they have general properties, right? And general things that they'll be good for, right? And that kind of works, but, we're energy sensitive. We could take it to the next level. And I like to use the analogy of, like, if you took Texas, right? You took the whole state of Texas, you're more likely to find people that love Texas in Texas. There's probably more people in Texas that love Texas than people in Montana that love Texas, right? And vice versa. There's more people in Montana that love Montana than people in Texas that love Montana, for a whole bunch of different reasons, but just going climate, two completely different climates. And so people can be like, oh no, I love Texas, and oh no, I love Montana. Most likely that's why you stay in the different places, right? So that's kind of like the same with crystals. Just because energetically there's like an average or generality to what the crystal can do or is able to do, but there's very specifics. Each crystal is very unique, got shaped uniquely. I mean, there's the general forces that create the crystal, and also obviously its content and components, but what energies was it also subjected to? What was its raising, so to speak? Just like a person can be completely unique, so is a crystal. But we can dial into that and figure out, okay, how are we going to choose our crystal, right? Because we've got very specific intent of what we want to heal for sleeping, right? And we also know what our mind and body needs to do. So now we can energetically, kind of dial into the crystals of like, hey, which crystal will best work for that, and then program it for it. So today we're just going to be all about choosing crystals, right? And how to do that. So and I'll give you some general recommendations. Like, this is a quartz crystal. It's just a general overall, always a good choice if you want to go and just get a quartz crystal. But we're going to do a specific choosing thing. But quartz crystals are great choices. Rose quartz is also good. Quartz, just all around, do it all kind of crystal. Rose quartz is, obviously it's got like a reddish color to it. And this is going to be more of like, kind of like, think of like it's like a big hug, it's like a love crystal, right? Of like, oh, it's like a big hug, right? So that's kind of part of your healing is needed. Quartz is always a good one. And then, oh, here's another different shape of quartz if you like kind of the feel and stuff like that. And we'll get into that tomorrow. And then fluorite, also it's a master healer. That's another good choice if you just like, I just want to choose something. However, we're going to do this energetically. So first we're going to start off, we're going to make a bubble, right? And if you're gonna go into a crystal store. You can either do this like you're gonna go into a crystal store, select your crystal, or if you have a bunch of crystals, then you'll do this exercise and then you'll choose. The one will show and say, hey, yeah, me. I'm ready to help you here. So, go ahead and create a bubble, right? Like we did before. Just create a little bubble, a little magic space, right? Then our feet, move body around, feet grounding into the ground. And now we're just gonna start letting all that energy go. Just draining it down. Whatever happened in the day, whatever is in this bubble, we're just draining it down, right? Draining it down. Furley don't want to do this downtown busy street, but you know, hey, let your freak flag fly. Draining it down. And then we're going to go into our aura. So anything that's in our aura, we're letting that go too. Draining that down. Yeah, just letting that go. Feel that. Oh, how does that feel? Letting it go. And then we're going to think on our chakras. And just, you know, think your spine. Just anything in your spine. We're just letting anything in, around, back of the spine, getting that too. Letting that just drain down into the ground. And then we're going to ask Source, higher beings, spiritual angels, just for some help. You know, we're going to be choosing some crystals to help guide us. We're on this healing journey for our sleep, you know, and we want to have assistance. You know, we're just invoking that. That's awesome. So now we're going to go with the crystals. So you have your crystals laid out, or you're going to do this kind of in the car before you're going into the, you know, crystal store. And you just have them, if you can see these, like you would have them out. And you're kind of just thinking, okay, I know my 2 things I'm going for, right? And I know my mind, you know, what that needs for the healing to get those 2 intents and what my body needs. So you've got those kind of 4 pivotal things. And you just kind of think of that, and you'll go into the store. I really like to do it is kind of from a distance, right? Because you get up close and they're so strong, but kind of distance and just kind of feel. You'd be looking through the store, or you can kind of, if you have your crystals out, and you're kind of just gonna look over them, right? Just get a sense of them, get a feeling, right? And see if there's an area of the store that you're drawn to. Feels a little clearer. And you don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to worry about if it is right or wrong, because you're not going to get it wrong. I mean, all the crystals can help you, right? But we're dialing this in, and we're going to have, you know, feedback. We'll be able to tweak it in. Your abilities are coming up, so you're not going to be able to do it wrong. Just got to jump into it, right? Just trust yourself. You got this. You're being a light, right? So you're either in the store area, right? That'll hold it down of like, oh, okay, I'm a little more attracted to that area of the store. Right, or that feel, right? And you then go over that, right? Then you're closer to the crystals, or if, you know, at your home, you got your crystals, kind of like, you go to this section of like, okay, which crystal is resonating most with me, right? So I'm thinking of my tent, and it's kind of just like, you either get an area or you get a crystal, right? So I'm kind of getting my quartz crystal, right? And you just kind of get a sense, and you go over to it, and you just kind of pull it, like, hey, is this crystal, you know, and you just kind of ask. You can pick it up, put it in your heart. It's like, you know, can you support me on what I'm trying to accomplish with my sleep healing? And you get like a lightening, a feeling of like, you know, yeah, it feels good, right? Then you just pick that crystal. And it doesn't matter. I mean, you might, especially in a metaphysics store, they'll have like kind of what its healing properties are, but you're energetically sensitive, and you were drawn to that crystal. That crystal was drawn to you of like saying, no, this is the one I can do, right? Now, for some reason, you're not dialing it in that or whatever, just pick up a quartz crystal. Awesome. You can always go with a quartz crystal. It'll do you right. But I recommend trying this process, going through it, and just trusting your intuition that you will pick up the right crystal. You're dialing us in. You're connecting with Source. You have talents and abilities, and just trust yourself. Just say like, you know what, I'm going for it. And you get the one that's like, yeah, this is my crystal. So that's for today. You've picked your crystal that we're going to then, you know, do some magic with tomorrow. You did a great job. You know, you've entered the non-physical world. You took a moment of your day to make it sacred. And like all those practices, that's wonderful. You know, you're awakening that being a light inside. So anyway, you know, cut it, shave it, whatever, it's a good day. So until we talk again, oh, and if you liked it, give me a like, because this will help get it out to more people. And the more people we get waking up, getting out into Source, connecting, dialing it in, the better our planet will be. So until we talk again, have a blessed day or a blessed night.